All right, hey everybody. I'm here with my friends Brittany and Anthony of Wild Rebel Farmhouse, and thank you guys so much for having me over. It's been just a joy getting to know you guys and getting to see all the cool work you're doing with all your different animals. So I'm excited to talk to you guys more about it.
Yeah, we've loved having you.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to jump behind the camera here, and then I'm going to ask them some questions about how they got into homesteading and all their experience with the many animals that they're raising and how they're doing it naturally too, which is what I find the most interesting. So how long have you been homesteading, and how did you get started in all this?
About 2 years since we moved to this house. We previously lived in the city for, gosh, what was that, 11 years?
11 years.
12 years.
We lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then we decided to move to Tennessee.
So did you have any prior experience with animals before, or growing food or any of that?
I mean, not really. My dad kept a garden when I was growing up, and we would help him occasionally, but, you know, I mean, we both lived on a small amount of land, I don't know how much your parents had.
My parents had 3 acres, but it was mostly wooded, but my mom is a master gardener, and we did have a little garden growing up, but I didn't really have an interest in gardening at all until later on in life.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So,
My mom had a garden too, and I could care less. I didn't want to be working outside.
She's like, go weed, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
no, I don't want to weed. Had no interest, at all. So, but I actually worked on a horse farm outside of Milwaukee for a year while I was back in school for health coaching and learning about nutrition and herbs and things like that. And that was what sparked my wanting to move to land and grow our own food and have animals and just be out in the nature. And we were just pretty much tired of living in the city.
Yeah.
So we wanted
the 9 to 5 rat race.
Yeah.
And,
we dreamt of having a different lifestyle. We didn't want to raise our daughter in the city, and so we came to Nashville on a road trip with our friend JoJo, who was a friend from college who lived in Louisville, Kentucky, and we really loved Kentucky, and we came to Nashville, and we fell in love with the Tennessee area. We just love the land, we love the people, we love the laws here, homeschooling laws, the Bible Belt. We love everything about Tennessee. And so that was back in 2010. And then we decided, we need to figure out how to make this work. We need to get out of the city. We need to move to the country.
That's so cool. And how long have you been out here now?
2 years.
2 years.
Pretty close.
How long did it take you to plan and before you finally made your move?
I mean, we were looking for quite a while.
Yeah.
This is pretty cute.
Cutie.
Yeah, we started, as soon as we came to Nashville and fell in love with the area, we started looking for properties, but we just weren't in a place financially that we could make it happen.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by what you guys have accomplished in the first 2 years. You guys have cows, tons of chickens, you've raised pigs. So how'd you get started? Because you didn't have any prior experience. What was the first animal you started with?
The llamas.
The llamas.
Oh, llamas.
Yes, the llamas. Anthony woke up one day. We had been here for about was it a month?
Month or two.
It was a month. And Anthony woke up one morning and was making coffee, and he was like,
we should get llamas.
We should buy llamas. And I was like, okay.
We had all this pasture, and we didn't have any animals out.
And he's like, llamas are really good guard animals, so let's get llamas before we get our chickens, because we were working on putting together our chicken coop plans at the time. And so he was like, let's get llamas. He's like, where can we buy llamas? And I was like, I don't know, I guess I'll just Google it. And so I just started Googling where to buy llamas, and that was how it all started.
Wow.
So, I mean, we knew we wanted to get animals. We didn't really have a plan.
A concrete vision.
No, it was just we just kind of like to jump into things, and then we'll learn about it after.
Pretty much.
I love it.
We're like, let's just do it, and we just dive in, and then we research and do all that stuff as we're going.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the courage you guys had just to jump in and do it, and you've been super successful.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your chickens. You guys raise meat and egg chickens, right?
We currently have about 50 egg chickens, which I'm
Egg
assuming
layers.
this will be an egg layer
She
eventually.
should be an egg layer.
Yeah, she's supposed to be a female.
We don't need any more roosters.
Yeah, plenty of roosters. But I mean, we just started with, gosh, what was it, like 18?
17 was our first
17?
batch.
So
And that was sort of like, we weren't ready yet.
No, we weren't.
Let's do it. Let's just get those chickens.
We built a little brooder out of doors.
From our house.
From our house that we weren't using. And we
Mm-hmm.
kept them in the barn for a while, and I think we had them live in the chicken tractor for a while, didn't we?
They lived in the chicken tractor.
Yeah, we built a chicken tractor.
A couple of months, and then one day I went out to go check on them and do nighttime barn chores, and
There was none in the chicken tractor.
they weren't there. I was like,
Oh, no.
what the heck? Where did the chickens go? And they had decided the barn was their new home, and so they were all roosting
On shelves and in the rafters.
in the
and
rafters of the barn. So they took over the barn.
Uh-huh.
Pooped
The barn's right
everywhere.
behind us, right?
Yep.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
took over the barn. The barn was their giant hen house hotel
Oh, wow.
for a really long time.
So they started laying eggs in there and just took everything over, and it was funny. But we wanted more chickens, and we wanted to do meat chickens. So I don't remember, it was a couple months after that we ended up getting 25 meat chickens.
Nice.
From Freedom Rangers.
The Freedom Rangers. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, and we had them go to about 12 to 14 weeks, and butchered them ourselves, which was quite the experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard work.
Yeah.
It was hard work.
Yep.
We'd never done it before, so it was all just a new learning process.
And I used to be a vegetarian, so I thought that, oh yeah, butcher day is gonna come. I'm just gonna go to Nashville and go shopping. But yeah, no, I had to get pulled in and helped. So I'm now an expert plucker. I'm an ex-vegetarian, and I turned meat eater many years ago. But I never thought that I would be butchering my own animals.
Wow.
But you just have so much more appreciation for your food when you have a connection with it. You know that it's been taken care of really well. You've fed it really good, wholesome, organic food.
it was butchered humanely.
It was butchered humanely. Exactly. It's just,
Yeah, it's
it's such a
amazing.
good experience. And then when you do that and you have that connection with your food, you don't want to go to the store and buy the meat there because you don't know what kind of life those animals lived.
Or what they're eating.
Yeah, or what they're eating.
Any of it. And you guys have a really great person that you get your grain from, don't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the Windy Acres Farm in northern Tennessee.
Yeah.
They grow all of their own grains, all
Wow.
the oats, the
That's
wheat,
fantastic.
Yep,
the
and
corn.
they mix us a soy-free blend because I'm really against soy. I don't want our animals eating soy. We don't eat soy products unless it's traditionally fermented.
Yeah.
So they use field peas for the protein.
Excellent.
And then the only additive that they put in that's not from the farm is they have a layer mix for layers.
Nice.
It just has the grains and seaweed and other things that they need.
And you guys are also adding in some feed. Brittany showed me earlier how you guys were feeding them, and she mixes in some different natural things.
Yep, so
What do you-
I'll add in garlic and oregano, essential oil into their feed. And then in their water, I'll do apple cider vinegar. Just that added, things to help keep them healthy and keep any sort of bacteria that may be going on, just keeping their immune systems healthy. And then if we have an issue that arises, I pretty much only use herbs and essential oils to help, or other types of whole food elements. I'll feed them, if we get an injured chicken, I'll feed them vital proteins, collagen, or bone broth. I'll make bone broth and feed them bone broth with Ninja Red
Oh,
from
nice.
Young Living. So we do stuff like that to keep things, everyone healthy, and we think it's really important because we want, if we're going to be eating their eggs in their food that they're giving us, we want it to be the best for our bodies.
Yeah,
So-
that's fantastic. What are kind of some of the results you've seen by using these added supplements? Do you feel like they've stayed healthier and...
So far we haven't had any issues like respiratory issues with our chickens or anything like that. 'Cause I know chickens
haven't
are
had
prone.
mites.
We haven't had mites yet.
Oh, wow.
We've had some crazy chickens are crazy. They can be really brutal to each other, and we've had some weird, like, vulgar chicken
Cannibalism.
cannibal experiences.
Oh, that happened to me one time too.
Yeah, and so one of our chickens, like, we've had just some crazy things happen to some of the chickens where they've gotten severely injured, and I honestly didn't think they were gonna make it, but I just remedied them up with all the things.
Yeah, we should have grabbed Hattie. I was showing.
Yeah.
Hattie is like our miracle
Showing
chicken.
Steven.
She was pretty much mauled to death
Wow.
by her siblings.
You could see her neck bone
Oh,
in
yeah.
the back that
bad.
she had been cut up to that.
And I just doctored her up with animal sense ointment and oils and bone broth and all these things for 2 weeks, and she made a full recovery,
Wow.
which was crazy because, I mean, even though I believe in all of this stuff, I'm still always shocked and amazed. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Their natural immune system has the ability to spring back if you give them the right
If you give
stuff.
them the right tools, they can rebuild.
It's really
So-
cool.
She's back on my shoulder.
She really likes you.
She does seem to like me.
So
What are some of your future plans for your homestead?
We'd
We have a
love
lot.
to get more cows.
More cows.
We currently
More
have
cows.
4 cows, 2 mamas who had 2 babies. Gosh, that was in December and January.
Did they have the babies here at the farm?
Yep.
Wow.
That
What
was
that
a really fun
awesome,
experience.
Exciting.
Wow.
We woke up one morning and we let Brittany sleep in. Pepper and I let Brittany sleep in, and we went out to do barn chores. And we were, filling up the water, feeding the chickens, and I look out in the pasture and I see this animal that I hadn't seen before, and I was like, is that a deer? No, that's not a deer. And when Pepper and I walk a little bit closer, and it's a baby cow. It was,
Wow.
the one we named Peanut Butter. He's half Red Angus.
His name is actually
he's brown.
Dave, but we call him Peanut Butter.
His name's Dave.
Remember, we named him Dave first, and then Pepper was like, no, let's call him Peanut Butter.
So anyway,
got 2
the mother
names.
just, was out in the pasture and just had him. And, we didn't even know that it was going to be happening. Like, we thought she
We knew
wasn't
that
due
she
for
was-
another few weeks.
Yeah, we knew that she was due, we thought we were expecting her to be having the baby within a month. But we weren't expecting it to be, right then. And so...
Yeah,
Big
they're very,
surprise.
very self-sufficient. We did have to do some animal husbandry because she was hungry and thirsty after that, and the hay was in a completely different spot.
and
Because cows like to go off to have their baby. They want to be private and separate. And so she went pretty far out into the pasture, and then she got hungry and she left him.
She left
Wow.
him, and we couldn't find him.
We couldn't find him
for
'cause
him. Like, oh my gosh, where did he go?
There was some
Wow.
tall
He was
grass,
hiding.
and I finally came across him, and it was kind of cold. I mean, December, it's not super cold, but it was a little cold and wet. And he was, down there shivering. So I picked him up and brought him up
her.
to near where the food is.
She was a first-time mama,
Yep.
so she was still learning how to be a mama. So we're like, wait, you can't abandon your baby and go eat hay. She's like, but I'm hungry. Girls gotta eat. I just had a baby. So,
But cows are, they eat all day long. So for her to have to go back and forth between the two, I just didn't think was going to work. So we brought him up there, and we made sure that he had latched on properly and was getting his colostrum and later on the milk, and he definitely was. So and he's thrived really well. And
yeah, he's getting to be a big boy.
he's a stinker. He causes problems and breaks out of fences every once in a while.
Once in a while. It's not often, but yeah. And then Honey was born a month later. And Rosie is a second-time mama, so she had already had a baby before. So she
also just went off.
She was on it.
It was the same sort of thing. Just one day we went out there. Hey,
And
there's
there was a baby.
new
We're like,
baby.
okay, awesome.
Wow.
We were a little concerned at first because Sophia did not like the new kid.
Yeah,
Oh, the other cow?
She did not like Rosie's new baby at first. But
She's fine with Rosie. Like Sophia and Rosie, the two moms, they get along well. But at first we were a little concerned because Peanut Butter wanted to be with the new baby, Honey.
Interesting.
And his mama didn't like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but Anthony's very good. I'm always like, oh my gosh, we should do something, and freaking out and spazzing. And Anthony's like, no, it's fine. We just need to leave them alone. They'll figure it out. They're animals. They can figure it out.
The mommies
They try to not intervene as
fight
much
it
as
out if they need
possible.
to, but
So. But yeah, so that was
my
really fun.
philosophy on the animal husbandry is, in general, let the animals do what they want. You only need to intervene if it seems like there's something
Wrong,
seriously
really wrong.
So, in the instance of Peanut Butter was out in the pasture, that first night is critical for cows, for the calves. They need to be with their mama, getting that colostrum right away, because their immune system hasn't developed and they can't moderate their body temperature right away.
What is the colostrum versus the milk? What's the difference?
So the colostrum is the first few days of the milking process.
Before the milk,
So
the full milk comes
And
out.
as far as I know, all mammals do colostrum first.
Oh wow!
And it's vital for your body to get it as an
It
infant.
it helps give the cow their immune system,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not nearly the same if you tried to bottle feed them, because the way that they feed from their mom actually helps the colostrum grow into the proper stomach, because cows have the multiple stomach compartments.
Oh wow!
And so actually feeding from their mother is by far the most healthy thing for them to do, and it keeps their immune system good and healthy, and then it stimulates the mom to start their milk production.
Interesting.
It's like a super milk. As if the mama's milk isn't already super enough.
Yeah.
The first few days is the super milk.
Interesting.
It's extremely important.
Did not know about that.
You can actually, buy colostrum. You know how they make...
Royal jelly?
Oh, yeah, like royal jelly, yeah.
Yeah, well, you can buy colostrum. There's different people, like Daniel Vitalis. He has a line of, like, colostrum from grass-fed cows in New Zealand. So they'll let the babies get the first of the colostrum, and then they'll milk it, and then they actually process it, and humans can consume it too.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
And it's really good for your immune system. So
I'll have to look into that. That's really
I know,
cool.
right? There's always something new to look into.
There really is.
Right?
Yeah, but back to the animal husbandry, just for a little bit, is you just kind of got to learn what, and it's just a learning process and an experience thing, what things that you need to do and what things you just need to leave up to the animals.
Right.
But by and large, the animals are smarter than we are in regards to themselves. They're genetically predisposed to know how to take care of themselves and their young. So,
Absolutely.
and I think it's important that people realize that and don't always try to interfere with every little thing, because like I said, that colostrum is really important. If you took the baby away from the mama,
you risk the baby's life.
You risk the baby's life, and it's very detrimental to that baby. So it's important that the only interruption that you're doing is that you're making sure that the baby is near the mom and the mom has water and food there, so that they can interact. And there are times where you may have to take the baby and put the baby's mouth up on the mom's nipple or something.
So minimal intervention, basically.
Minimal
The
intervention.
strategy is minimal.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I did do some herbs for them after they had their babies to help with recovery. So I gave them red raspberry leaf and extra immune support herbs like garlic and things in their alfalfa and kelp. And then I would actually fill up a bucket for them morning and night and add in molasses to the water to help just help their body's recovery from birth. So
And that's in addition to the magnesium and salt that we were giving.
Oh yeah, they get minerals.
It's
too.
extremely critical in the winter because they don't have other sources of that. So.
Do you guys run a blog? Are you guys gonna make an article or something? I think that'd be really interesting information to see kind of what you guys use all these natural remedies and where to buy them and stuff.
We just we're about to launch our blog. It's up and it's there. It's just in the middle of being edited right now, so it's gonna be.
Let me know when it's done, and I'll put a link to it so people can go check that out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely want to put posts like that up there because it's like she was saying earlier. We just kind of jump in head first and just try everything out, and we're learning along the way. We get resources like I have several books on taking care of cows and naturally and
herbs and we love YouTube. We love following other homesteaders and just seeing what they're doing and what's worked for them, and we try things. But as far as other plans for our homestead, I don't foresee us ever being market gardeners or selling vegetables. I see more of an educational standpoint of I would love to redo our silo and make it into an Airbnb and have farm stays and have families come and learn how to cook healthy food, learn how to harvest vegetables, learn how to take care of animals. That's kind of our ultimate long-term goal and dream, cooking classes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Really cool. So really health focused.
Really health focused and teaching education, because even if you don't want to be a homesteader and grow your own food, you can at least support other people who are doing it at a small scale level. And knowing that where your food comes from is important, and understanding that, I think that's kind of where I foresee our farm going as far as how we're going to expand.
Well, and we also have felt a lot in the last 2 years that we know we're not pioneers in these fields, but we feel like we are because there's so few resources for doing this farming stuff how we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and even some of the more conventional farming practices, it's hard to find information on it.
It is. Yeah.
So I mean, there's books to an extent, but like for instance, fencing. I spent tons and tons of time researching fencing, and there's not a lot of articles on it. And there's a really
There's not
great.
even a lot of books.
There's not even a lot of books. There's a great book on Amazon
like
about
one
it,
book.
but it's like one book.
book on Amazon
So
Wow.
on fencing.
Yeah,
and the
learn as
type
you
of
go.
fencing.
it is. It's really,
really
is learn
is
as you go.
learn
And a
as
lot
you
of
go.
times you get differing opinions and differing signals from people. Like some people say do this, and other people are like, no, you can't do that. That'd be the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
So it's really
that's
tough
tricky.
to you know sift through that information and find what's really useful,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where a lot of the experimenting comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of come up with your own style at the end of the day, and what
Yeah.
works for you and your climate
Yeah.
and your land. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. Last question: do you guys have any advice for anybody out here who would like to start their own homestead or get into raising animals? You know, where should they start?
I would say if you're at all interested in doing chickens, go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you think that's a good
They're-
animal to
Don't
start
wait.
with?
It's
They're a
the
great animal to
easiest,
start with.
It's the funnest.
Low risk, low capital cost.
Yeah. And
Just be prepared for them to die because they do die.
be prepared for animals to die just if you decide you want to homestead or have any animals. Like animals are just going to die.
No matter how good you
unfortunately.
take care of your animals and
Some-
how well
you're
you
gonna
protect
have
them,
losses.
you're gonna have losses.
And
It's part
that's
of
been
life.
a really hard thing for
Yep.
me.
I mean, we've had to bury a lot of chickens. We had to bury some llamas and alpacas, and
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's been really
So,
hard.
and that's part of the other learning experience is you just find that some animals don't do well in certain
in
climates.
certain
Yep.
areas, yep.
So
Yeah, you guys were telling me goats are really hard to do here because the parasites and some of these things that attack them don't die off in the winter, because here in Tennessee you don't get that cold.
We
Yeah.
don't get hard freezes.
and the humidity, the high
it's
humidity.
basically like a parasite thriving,
Yep.
like, climate.
Mhm.
Apparently, the Native Americans called this area the land of the sickness
Wow,
because
interesting.
of just how it is because of the climate and
The wet
the
air just
humidity,
kind of settles in
the
the
amount of
valleys.
rain that we
and-
get. It's a thriving area for parasites, and goats are very susceptible to parasites. Same with llamas and alpacas. And so if you want to raise them holistically, naturally with herbs, it's a lot more challenging. It can be done because my friend Pam is like living proof of that, and she works really hard to keep her goats super healthy, and she does not use chemical dewormers or any chemicals on her goats, and they're very healthy, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so for us, like, when we are choosing the animals that we want to have on our farm, we want to have animals that are going to be the easiest.
I mean, it is easiest, but it's like you don't want to have to put A, the time, and B, the capital investment into, you know, some sort of animal and then have it, you know, die or get
Yeah,
sick
it's just
or have
heartbreaking.
problems. Yeah, I mean, we've had to put animals down that just got really sick, and it's
Yeah.
really, really sad, and we hate to do it, but
So we decided no goats for us.
No goats, no
and
more
I'm
llamas
happy
or
to support my
alpacas.
friend Pam, and I buy my goat milk from her that I make goat milk soap with because we love homemade goat milk soap.
Mhm.
It's the most amazing soap for your skin.
but
And you add in
cows,
oil.
cows and chickens do well
Yep.
in I feel like they do well in a wide range of environments.
We also loved having pigs too.
Yep,
We plan on
pigs
having
are
a lot
pretty-
more pigs.
More pigs, cool.
Pigs are very
Mhm.
straightforward. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't think we mentioned that earlier, but we raised 3 pigs last year and brought them
Yep.
to a market, I guess.
Yep.
Very cool.
We kept a 1.5 and sold the other 1.5.
That's
Mhm.
fantastic.
So, and that was a super fun, good learning experience, and we really liked our pigs.
Yeah, we loved
they
pigs.
were pretty funny and really enjoyable
Yeah.
to have. We were sad when we
We
loaded
were
them up.
very sad.
Yep.
That
Oh.
was really hard. But I would say if you just want your kids to have an experience with getting closer to nature and animals, and you don't have a lot of land, maybe you have like a quarter acre or even less than that, and your area allows chickens, go for chickens because
Even
they're
just
so
like
fun.
5.
Even
you know?
5, like they're so fun. Your kids get to experience, you know, raising an animal, taking care of an animal. They get to experience the eggs and how amazingly rich they are when you have your own farm fresh eggs, and they just get all of that. And I think that's an awesome experience for kids. Chickens are so entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need a TV anymore,
I
guys.
mean, look
Just
at
get
this.
rid of your
Look at this
TV
chicken.
and get chickens.
I've
like, for real.
never had her on my shoulder, and she's just chilling.
Yeah. Love it.
She wants to be a YouTube star.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I think so. Oh, what are
Oh
you
no,
doing?
she's nestling into your neck. Do you want me to grab her?
Sure.
Cool.
She's like, hey, this is comfortable. You're cute.
Cool. Well,
Kidding.
thank you guys so much for sitting down with me and sharing your knowledge with us.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course.
I love that you came.
Yeah, I'm
You were
really
super
happy to
cool.
come. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I hope you'll be
And
back someday.
Steven's wife is adorable, guys. So
She does exist.
she really does, and
That's so
she's
fun.
super cute.
Oh, thanks you guys. Well, if people want to follow along on your journey and see what you guys are working on your homestead, where can they follow you guys? And
They can check out our website, which is up, but it's not fully ready yet. But it will be in like the next couple of days. We've actually been working really hard on it. So
yeah, it'll be up by the time I post this video.
So our website is wildrebelfarmhouse.com, and then I'm also on Instagram as Wild Rebel Farmhouse. And then you can also, we just reopened our YouTube channel, and we're gonna hopefully have some videos up in the next couple of weeks. So
And then you also have a Facebook page too.
oh, and we have a Facebook page too.
Wonderful. Okay,
So we're
cool.
everywhere.
So
Yeah.
is that Wild Rebel Farmhouse
Yep,
again?
on Facebook.
Yep, and I'll put all the links down in the description.